Okay, here's our first lesson in soloing. Now, when you solo, you really need a background to solo with. And if you're a really good guitar player, you can provide the background and the soloing, which Stevie Ray Vaughan did so often and so well. But you need some background music to play with, and I'm going to try to provide that for you in the lessons as well, so you can have something to play with that's designed to go with it. So when you solo, typically, you're using a scale, and the first scale we're going to learn is the pentatonic. Now, some people teach the major scale to start with. I really think let's start with the pentatonic, because you guys are probably into rock and roll and pop music and stuff, and you really are going to use the pentatonic scale more probably, and it's going to be more pleasing to your ears, and it'll take you further. Okay, so let's start with the pentatonic scale first. Now, pentatonic just means five. It's a 5-note scale, and you may figure out quickly, well, we're playing more than just 5 notes. It's because those notes are repeating. There's only 5 different notes. That's why it's called a pentatonic scale. Because there are 5 different notes, and you repeat those notes over and over. And all it is, it's just a group of notes. It's your palette. Like if you're a painter and you have colors, and you're using those 5 colors to do all different sorts of things. You're mixing the colors, and you're different ways. And the scale, the pentatonic scale, is just we're going to draw from that and make a solo. Okay, and it can be done very simply, and it's not near as hard as you may think it is. Now, to do the pentatonic scale, what we're going to do, okay, so pay attention here, this is really important. We're going to go to the 5th fret, okay? And we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we're at the 5th fret. Now, I want you to take each of your 4 fingers and put your pointer finger on the 5th fret, and then your middle finger will have the 6th fret, and then your ring finger will have the 7th fret, and then your pinky will have the 8th fret. So you have 4 fingers there on the pentatonic scale here, because we're going to use just these frets here. So forget about the guitar this way and forget about this part. We're only going to use this position right here. Okay, and it's an A minor pentatonic scale. And this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to number the fingers. You might want to write this down. I would do it. On the low E string, we're going to use certain fingers. I'm not going to say fret numbers. I'm just going to say fingers. Because what we're going to do is learn a pattern here. All right? And then we're going to be able to transfer it to anywhere on the neck of the guitar and play that same pentatonic scale in any key. Okay? So that should be exciting to you. You learn it one time, and you can do it for any song in any key. Now on piano it's not like that. You got to learn all the different scales, for each. But for guitar it's all shapes and patterns. So we're right here, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now we're going to start with the low E string, and I want you to write on the low E string on your piece of paper 1, 4. Okay? Because those are the first 2 notes of the pentatonic scale. Now if I went through the whole scale, it would sound like this. Okay, that's the pentatonic scale. And you wrote 1, 4 on the low E because you're using finger 1 and then finger 4. All right, 1 to 4. Now, I want you to take your pick or your thumb of your right hand, and as you press down that pointer finger there, finger 1 on the 5th fret, okay, you pick it here, downstroke. Notice I'm doing soloing now, so I'm holding the pick with just 2 fingers, not 3, just 2. All right, and I'm using just the very tip of the pick, okay, not the whole thing, just the very tip of it. I don't want to get bogged down. Okay, so I have a lot of delicacy there, a lot of control there with that, holding the pick that way. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the other fingers down as I go to the 4th finger here on the 8th fret. Why? You may say, well, why don't you just do this? Because it's easier. Just trust me, it's going to be a lot easier if you'll learn to put all those other fingers down, even though they're not really doing anything. Although they are, they're giving you strength in your hand to hold that pinky down, okay? If you have all your fingers down, it gives you more strength than if you're just using your pinky. So, 1st finger, 4th finger, to get 2 notes. There we go, bum bum. All right, now let's go to a new string, the A string. Now this one is not going to be 1, 4, it's going to be 1, 3. So, take your 1st finger on the A string, and we want that note, and then you're going to put down your ring finger, which will be finger 3, 1, 3. So what's our pattern so far? On the low E, it's 1, 4, and then on the A, it's 1, 3. And notice I put my middle finger down too, even though it's not doing anything really. It just gives me some added strength. Okay? Now the next string is also, the D string is also a 1, 3. So 1, 3 on the D string. All right, finger 1 to finger 3. Now when we go to the G string, it's also 1, 3. Okay, so lots of 1, 3s on this. Now when we go to the B string, it's going to be 1, 4 again, just like it was on the low E. So finger 1 to finger 4. And then we're also going to use 1, 4 on the high E here. 1, 4. All right, so 1, 4 on that one as well. So what's our pattern? What's our formula that you should be writing down? 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. Or you can think of it this way. 1, 4 on the low E, and also 1, 4 on the top 2 strings, the skinniest strings. Everything else in the middle is 1, 3. Okay? 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. Okay? Now, in the next lesson, we're going to, I'm going to show you some super easy licks to play. And a lick, all a lick is just a little, taking that scale and doing a little pattern with it. And that's called a lick. And we're going to take some super easy licks, and I'm going to lay down an accompaniment track on the keyboard so that you can play with it and practice your soloing and get started on that. It's really a lot easier than you're thinking, let me tell you. And, you know, it can be difficult too if you want to get really good at it. But with your pick, you can first use all downstrokes. You want to practice going up the scale. Notice I'm pointing down when I say that, because as you go down to the ground, towards the ground, you're getting higher in pitch on the guitar. And you want to also practice going down in pitch there. So we want to go up, and you can use all downstrokes at first with your pick. Up. And then use downstrokes coming down. It's hard for me to do because I'm used to alternate picking so much. And then you want it to, when you first start with your pick, it's probably easier to do all downstrokes. Now, after that gets a little easier, you want to practice alternate picking, which means down, up, alternate pick. So downstroke, upstroke. You're watching my right hand here with the pick. Let me get where you can see that better. Here we go. Down, up, down, up. Okay? Do that, you know, a million times. Just over and over and over, up and down, up and down, up and down with the scale. Now, the cool thing is, if you're playing anything in the key of A minor, you can use that scale. But let's say somebody was playing in the key of C minor. This note is a C. So I could use my ear and listen to it, or I could just know that this is a C note. Then I could come up here and do the same pattern. Watch this. See that? Same pattern, and I don't have to think about anything else except the frets maybe being closer together up here. It's a little different, but the pattern is exactly the same. Once you learn that first position, that first shape for the pentatonic scale, you can use it on any song. All you have to do is make sure you're in the right key. Okay, so that is the pentatonic scale, and don't forget to review. You need to go back over your open string chords and keep playing those. And then, you know, get a buddy to learn them with you, and then he or she can play a chord progression with strumming chords while you improvise with the pentatonic scale. So let's get to some more soloing in the next lesson.